Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Universal Audio. It didn't really work. It worked better a second ago. Anyways, we're taking a look at the Universal Audio Knuckles pedal. Now this is the latest pedal, the amp in a box from the mad scientists at Universal Audio, and this one promises to deliver the sounds of the legendary early 90s Mesa rectifier amps in a compact pedal. We're going to check out this pedal and we're going to see, does it live up to the hype? Does it really sound like a Mesa? Does it do all the things that all of their other amp in a box units have done? And we're going to also run it through the Ox Stomp to see how it sounds paired up with kind of a more robust speaker simulation device from the same company. I've also got the OCD in front of it, and I've got the DelVerb for some reverb and delay. I've got that after the pedal. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get, I want to say get cracking here, but it didn't really work, so the joke falls flat. Anyways, we're gonna get going here and we're gonna take a listen to what this thing can do. All right, so first things first, let's get a disclaimer out of the way. I've never really spent much time with any dual rectifiers before. And I know it's kind of weird, but I think that it's just not a sound that my brain ever heavily gravitated to the way that it does Marshall amps. So for that reason, I really don't have a strong point of reference in terms of like, oh, I've owned these Mesas before and blah, 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 blah. So unlike a lot of other YouTube reviews on this pedal, I'm coming at it as someone who really isn't that familiar with owning a Mesa rectifier, playing them, or spending a significant amount of time with them so that I would know, oh, this is exactly like how this Mesa reacts or sounds, or how the structure works or something like that. So I'm kind of coming at it from the outside looking in, just as, what does this pedal sound like? Does it kind of sound like what I know Mesas to sound like on audio recordings and things like that. So yeah, I do need to get that disclaimer out of the way. However, one of my favorite all-time sounds of an amplifier in a guitar store was through a old, maybe it's a late 90s or early 2000s. It was a 50-watt Rectoverb, and it was plugged into an Ignator 412 with greenbacks, and kind of not really the typical amp and speaker combination. I played the amp on, it was in vintage mode. And it was hands down one of the best sounds that I'd heard in a very long time in a guitar store. It had like this rich, smooth, high gain sound. It didn't have that typical like kind of really fizzy and like harsh top end that I think the rectifiers kind of have a bad rap for. And the low end was, it wasn't loose, but it wasn't tight. It was kind of like in that in-between spot. It was just a very good high gain sound, and I enjoyed it. So I don't hate the sound of Mesas by any means. It's just not what I prefer, but I'm coming at this with a fresh set of ears, and we're gonna take a listen to this thing. One other disclaimer I do need to get out of the way is that I paid for this pedal. It wasn't sent to me for free or for review or anything like that. I paid out of my own pockets, and the reason for that is because if I like it, I would want to keep it. Kind of like with the Universal Lion, the DelVerb, and the Ox Stomp. They're all amazing pedals. So I have high expectations for this guy. And another reason is because if I had gotten it from Zounds, I probably would have had to send it back before I got an opportunity to take it on stage. So for that reason, I've paid for it out of my own pockets. And the good thing about Zounds is that they have like this awesome 12-month no interest easy payment plan, which I've used for several years now. It's awesome. And I will have affiliate links to all of these things in the video description for you guys to use if you want to. If you're wanting to check this out or any of these units out, you can use those affiliate links. Doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does give me a little kickback and helps out the channel a lot. So let's get going here. I probably said that like 3 times now, but anyways. All right, so the signal path for today is the Lizzy Hale Explorer into the OCD, into the Knuckles, into the DelVerb, and once I hook up the Ox Stomp, you will see these 2 cables right here with the white tape on them. They will be coming out of the Ox Stomp. These 2 cables, they go into my interface. So it's stereo left and right for the effects, and although the Knuckles doesn't have any kind of stereo stuff in it, the room reverb might be stereo, but it's a very subtle stereo sound to that. So just like all of the other UA pedals, this one shares a lot of similarities, in particular with the anti pedal, which I also reviewed on the channel, in that it has 5 control knobs on the unit for your typical amp controls, being you have your master output, you have your gain, bass, mids, and treble. It has an alternate switch where you can flip it up, and it would also alter the room amount if you're using one of the cabinets in here. If you have it bypassed, like to use your own impulse loader or the Ox Stomp or whatever, you don't get the room sound because you would probably be getting that some other way. So anyways, with the alt sound mode toggled, you are controlling the room amount, you are controlling the noise gate, the overdrive level, the overdrive tone, and the gain, the tone, and the treble. All right, I'm going to put that right back there, and it has 3 channels. It has your clean, orange, and red channels, and for everything that you've heard so far, it's all been on the orange channel, which is by far my favorite, although the red does get some pretty rowdy sounds, and the clean is pretty good in terms of just a nice, big, clean sound. It can get a little bit of a gain to it, but I don't really think it sounds that great. It kind of sounds a little ratty. I like it just nice and clean. So we'll hear that, and we'll also kind of play with the gain a little bit, maybe throw the overdrive in front of it, and kind of see what the green channel can do. And also, just like the rest of these universal audio pedals, it has a companion app on your smartphone, and I've got it pulled up here so you can see all of the different settings here. And just like with the anti pedal, you get 3 separate screens for the different channels. So each channel you can toggle, the power tube type, rectifier, power mode. You have a master output per channel, so if you want one to be louder than the other or kind of equalize the volumes, you can use that control per channel to sort of make sure that everything is nice and leveled out. And up here you have 2 different overdrive types. You have a tube screamer and a TC style boost. And the noise gate, I just leave everything at default and only adjust the threshold, which again, if you're on stage and you need to quickly adjust it, you can do so with this control knob right here. So you don't have to go into the app. And just like with the anti pedal and with the Lion, the app settings are mostly a set it and forget it, where you would adjust the parameters, toggle with the different sounds either at your house, your studio, or during sound check or something like that. And then during the show, the only adjustments you would need to make would be on the pedal itself. While I'm on the orange channel, we're going to take a listen to that, and I'm going to play with the different settings so you can hear kind of how they alter the sound. We'll toggle between the different types of boosts, and then we'll go to the other 2 channels, and then we'll go to the Ox Stomp and see what that does. All right, so this is the kind of the default orange sound that I've dialed in, and we'll go ahead and we'll listen to what the different settings do in the app while I'm playing, and we will also go up here and we'll listen to the 2 different overdrives and kind of mess with the controls for that, get a good feel for how they react, and yeah, just kind of play around, and then we'll go to the other 2 channels. So this is kind of what I've got dialed in for the orange channel. It's kind of, you're going hard kind of out of the gates with this channel, so there's not a lot of low gain crunch action to be found kind of anywhere in this pedal. Let's take a listen to the room sound. DelVerb here from the DelVerb. Around halfway to 2 o'clock is kind of the sweet spot for me in this channel, especially when you want to have a little bit extra headroom left over for the boost. All right, let's play with the boost here. Turn the drive all the way down, mids at noon, levels at noon. All right, now let's check out the TC boost. So as you can tell, the TC boost has less mid-range push, but a little bit sounds like kind of like a little bit more of a top-end focus, whereas the Tube Screamer style boost, it has a little bit more of that lower mid-range grunt to it that, in my opinion, kind of fills out the sound in a more pleasing way. So let's compare that with the OCD real quick. So again, this is the Tube Screamer style. Not in drop D anymore. I definitely kind of do prefer the OCD, but I really do like both of these boosts built into the knuckles. I think they both sound outstanding. They both complement the core sound of the unit really well. So the OCD or any other boost pedal you might have laying around, it's not necessary, but I wouldn't say don't at least give it a shot and see what you think about it. So that is the boost, and we are going to flip back over here. And let's go ahead and check out the clean channel. Oh, actually, let's go ahead and listen to the sounds of the actual unit itself in terms of the power tubes, the rectifier, and the power mode settings, and the presence. Okay, this is how I had everything set up here. Yeah. Let's check out the modern mode. I had completely glossed over this. I believe I'm using it in the normal mode right now. All right, in modern mode, it was much louder. I had to kind of tweak around with the volume settings here to make sure that I wasn't clipping on the interface there. So again, you do lose the presence control, but this has a way more top end bite and sizzle to it. So let's go ahead and hear what this sounds like. right, we're on the clean channel now, and this is kind of what I have dialed in here, and here are the settings for the clean channel. All right, let's check out the boost on top of that. Like I said, it really doesn't sound that great, but you can do it. So here's the Tube Screamer. It's just a little bit too muffled. Put everything back at noon here. I'm gonna flip over to the TC boost. This is what that sounds like. That's peaking hard, but I tell you what, it stays pretty clean. I mean, it's almost like it can be used as a slight lead boost, maybe. Maybe, I don't know. It's all right. It didn't have that dullness that the Tube Screamer had, but again, really didn't do a whole lot. So, let's play with the gain a little bit. I think I had the gain right here around 9 o'clock. Yep, just kidding. Let's turn that room back off. Now we're adjusting the gain. Boy, that's clipping hard. I'm gonna pull the volume back here. It's kind of getting farty right there. We'll keep going though. Almost like a fuzz. I'm sure that there is a way to utilize that sound. But I don't want to try. I think for what this pedal does, I just really prefer a big, open, clean sound. All right, let's go to the red channel here. Ba-dum-bum, and see what it does. Vintage is what I love on the red channel here. And again, like that was what setting I was using on that old DelVerb that I played at Guitar Center years ago. And that scooped, really cutting top end and big boomy, kind of flabby if you push it a little too hard, low end, none of that's there on the vintage mode. Bring that master down a little bit. Bringing the master to around halfway-ish kind of helps clean up the sound a little bit too. pushing the gain a little bit higher like that, it kind of filled out the that lower mid-range in a really cool way. Again, gotta get these toggle switches down. Okay. There, now. Alright, well that's enough messing around with the red channel. Let's hear this thing through the Ox Stomp and we'll wrap up here. Alright, I'm plugged into the Ox Stomp now and I have the cabinet on the knuckles disabled. I'm using the same cabinet, I assume, in the Ox Stomp. It's the Mesa Vintage 30. I have a 57 and here are the settings. And I have a condenser 67 and here are the settings for that. Room mics, the condenser stereo pair. Master EQ. Go ahead and turn that off. It's really not that necessary on this with this pedal. And again, no reverb or delay. All that's coming from the DelVerb. So, all right, this is what it sounds like. It's spoiler is very similar. All right, guys, that is going to wrap up this video for the Universal Audio Knuckles pedal. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it gave you a good idea of all the different sounds and options and features that this unit brings to the table and how it pairs with some of the other units that Universal Audio offer. And I've got one other video that I'm going to be filming here in a couple minutes where we're going to be pairing the Knuckles with the Lion and with the IRJ to hear how this thing pairs with a Marshall voiced unit. And I think it's going to be really, really cool. I haven't gotten a chance to really dig into the combination of using them yet, but I think with all the multiple inputs and outputs of these pedals, I feel like it's going to facilitate running both of them at the same time pretty well, but we'll see how it goes. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me, and if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, help the channel grow, and stay up to date with all of my latest gear review videos. And with that being said, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.